Sometimes the worst betrayal doesn't come from strangers. It comes from the people who share your blood, the ones who smile at your grief while counting what they just stole. This is a story about a woman left with nothing after her mother's death, and how she made sure her aunt's family paid for every lie, with their comfort, their image, and their legacy. My name is Lauren Blake, and after my mother passed away, my aunt and cousin stole everything she left me. But I didn't cry. I disappeared, and returned years later, not with lawyers, but with leverage. When I was 10, my dad died in a construction accident. I still remember the smell of the rain that day. My mom, Clara, raised me alone, one job, 2 shifts, always tired, always loving. We didn't have much, but she made it feel like we did. My Aunt Veronica, her older sister, was the opposite. Married to a rich dentist, with 2 kids in private school, a house with a wine cellar, and a pool no one swam in. She visited twice a year. Always gave me weirdly cheap gifts. Always called my mom brave in that pitying tone. When I turned 16, my mom started getting sick. By 18, I was driving her to chemo every Tuesday and Friday. She called me her Lionheart. She said she had savings. She promised I'd be okay. She died when I was 19. It was a slow, quiet goodbye. The funeral was small. And that's when things went dark. A week later, Aunt Veronica called me over to her place. I was numb, still half asleep inside. She made me tea and said the will had been updated a few months before Mom passed, and that Mom had trusted her to help handle it. She handed me a folder. It was 1 page. Typed. No lawyer's signature. It said all of Mom's assets, the small house, her savings, a necklace from her grandmother, were to be held by Veronica on behalf of Lauren until she is financially stable. But there was a line at the bottom. One I'll never forget. If Lauren is found irresponsible or unstable, the assets shall be retained for the benefit of Veronica's family. I blinked at the paper. What does that even mean? Veronica smiled. It means, sweetie, you focus on school. Let the adults worry about the rest. I didn't get the house. Didn't see the necklace. Didn't touch a cent of my mother's money. Veronica's kids, Ava and Reed, both got new cars that year. Veronica posted online about a sudden blessing. And I slept in a shared dorm, worked 2 jobs, and skipped meals to pay for books. I knew something was wrong. But grief kept me quiet. Until I found out there was a real will, signed by a lawyer, notarized, leaving everything directly to me. It had been destroyed. 3 years later, I had my degree. No family, no money, but I had memory. And something more dangerous, a plan. I knew Veronica's family well, what they valued, what they feared, and most importantly, what they were hiding. So I started watching. Ava, the golden child, was now working PR for a wellness company. Her image was everything. Reed? Barely hanging onto a job in real estate, but publicly living big. Veronica ran a local charity board, loved by donors, respected by city officials. I moved back to town under a new name, Emma Carroll. New hair, a modest car, and a job in digital strategy for nonprofits. I volunteered at the same events Veronica did. She never recognized me. Over 6 months, I gathered everything. Ava's employer had fake testimonials. Reed was lying on mortgage applications. Veronica was reallocating donations, using funds for vacations, hiding it under vague outreach programs. I didn't go to the police. I went to the people they needed to impress. One night, I submitted a report to Ava's HR director anonymously. Screenshots of emails where Ava falsified case studies. 2 days later, Ava was let go to pursue other opportunities. A week later, I contacted the ethics committee of Veronica's charity. Attached were spreadsheets, time-stamped payments, travel receipts, all with Veronica's initials. It triggered an investigation, and the board suspended her. Her name quietly removed from every newsletter. Then I sent everything about Reed's real estate fraud to the licensing board. They revoked his license. Within 2 months, his listings vanished. His clients demanded refunds. His bank called in loans. Veronica tried to fight back, tried to sue the charity, tried to blame internal sabotage, but the paper trail was too long. Then I made one last move. I bought a small plot of land. The one where our family home used to sit, which Veronica had sold illegally after gutting it. She never knew I was the buyer. I built a garden there. Planted jasmine. Hung a plaque with my mom's name. One day, Veronica drove by and saw me standing there. She stopped. Got out. Her eyes widened. "Lauren," she said. I smiled. "No, Emma." She looked at the garden. At the plaque. At me. And for the first time in my life, I saw fear in her eyes. Real fear. Sometimes revenge doesn't need fire or blood. Sometimes it's soft. Precise. A scalpel instead of a hammer. And the satisfaction isn't in the scream. It's in the silence that follows. If this story spoke to you, hit like and subscribe. We release new stories every week, raw, real, and unforgettable. Sometimes justice comes late, but never too late.